How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you a full guide on how to change the oil on your Fiat 500. Now, I actually do already have a video on this exact topic, but I've learned some tips and tricks in the years I'd like to share with you, so consider this an updated version of that video. First thing we need to do is look at the tools needed. You'll need a ratchet. 3/8 is fine, but obviously a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch works. You'll need a torque wrench for snugging everything down, and then some sockets, namely a 13mm for the oil, and then a 10. Some extensions, 2 long ones will do just fine. And then most importantly is a 27mm 6-sided hex socket. This is for the oil filter. Oil filter, I like these MAN filters. The exact model will be down below. And then you're going to need 4 quarts of 5W30 oil. Now let's get the car off the ground. You're going to go ahead and lift the car using the pinch weld and one of these little pinch weld adapters. And as you can see right here, this protects the frame while you're lifting it. And then you're going to go ahead and place the jack stand. Now get the car up off the ground high enough so you have full access to the undercarriage of the car, and then place the jack stand on this little brace right here. This is the Fiat recommended jack stand position. Make sure it's on there safely before you lower the car down onto it. Go ahead and repeat on the other side as well. Then go ahead and chalk off your rear wheels to make sure that nothing moves on you while you are under the car. And just to be extra sure, go ahead and give the car a little push from a few different angles just to make sure that it is solidly off the ground and not going to fall on you. Now, I do like adding a little bit of protection for my driveway. I'll put a link down below to the specific one, but this does do a good job of protecting the driveway from oil spills. And then under the car, you're going to go ahead and remove your underbody panel using a 10mm hex. There are 6 of these. Just work your way around the car and get them all off, and then the tray should just come off. Now we can go ahead and remove our drain plug. It's a 13mm hex. This sort of crossbar behind it's kind of in the way, making it hard to use a ratchet, so I like using a box end wrench, getting it loose, and then just using my hand to loosen it the rest of the way, and then draining the oil into a drain pan. While the oil is draining, you can go ahead and open up the drain cap at the top. This will allow the oil to flow out a little bit faster, and then just let it drain the rest of the way out. Now, the Fiat does not have a replaceable gasket on the drain plug, so just inspect it, make sure it's still supple and in good condition. If it's not, you may have to buy a replacement, but there is no actual crush washer or anything like that. Put it back on, torque it down to 20 foot-pounds with your 13mm. And now, realistically, we can drop the car once we reinstall the bottom tray. Give everything a nice wipe down to make sure that it is all nice and clean before reinstalling your tray using your 10mm socket. Now we can turn our attention to the most frustrating part of this job, which is removing the oil filter housing. Now, it is way down here in the depths of the engine bay, and you can't really get a traditional oil filter wrench on there. So you're going to want to use your 27mm hex and then 2 long extensions. And you're going to place the socket onto the filter housing and then use this little hole here, this gap behind the headlight. This is what it's actually for, believe it or not. And then with the extensions, you can go ahead and loosen it off. Now, once you have it loose, you'll then need to go in there with your hands and sort of finagle it out of the way. This is also going to be a tight fit and somewhat frustrating, so just sort of work it out, being careful not to scratch anything. You will get oil everywhere. You just have to sort of accept that and then clean it off once you're done. But pull out your housing, and then we can go ahead and replace the filter. Filter, again here, this is a MAN branded filter. I've had good luck with these. So just go ahead and pull off the old one and replace it with the new one. And your new filter should come with a new O-ring. So just go ahead and peel off the old one and install the new one, making sure to add a little bit of oil on the new one just to make sure that it makes a nice tight seal with the oil filter housing. Drop in your new filter, make sure it clicks into place. and you're ready to go. So again, you're gonna have to just maneuver it through all these various hoses. It's very hard to show you, so I am sorry for that, but you will find the exact way to get it in there. I like to go in with the filter sticking up, using the housing to push it through. This ensures that the filter does not get damaged as it goes through all the various hoses that are in the way. And then just start spinning it on, making sure that it's not cross-threading. The exact torque specifications for the filter housing is going to be 20 foot-pounds, although you really don't need to go fully to spec on this, just as long as it's tight and it makes a full seal. And then we can go ahead and refill the engine with oil, and we'll be back on the road shortly. You're going to need 4 quarts of 5W30 full synthetic oil. So go ahead and fill it up and then use your dipstick to check the oil level. If the car is still off the ground, you will have to get another reading once the car is flat on the ground, just to make sure that you are actually at the correct oil fill level. But once we're satisfied with the oil level, we can go ahead and lift the car up off the jack stands, remove the jack stands, get the car back on the ground, and then do one final check of the oil level. And if we're all satisfied with everything, your car should be good to go. So go ahead, take it for a nice little test drive, get the oil going through all of the nooks and crannies of the engine. Check again in a few days just to make sure that the oil level hasn't changed at all. And that's it. Job done. So thank you for watching. I hope the video was informative, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.